In the summer of 1941, Nazi Germany stood at the height of its power. France had fallen. Western Europe was silent under German boots. Britain stood alone, battered but alive. To Adolf Hitler, the war already felt won. So when German armies turned east toward the Soviet Union, this was not meant to be a gamble. It was supposed to be a final blow. One fast campaign, one crushing victory, a war finished before winter. Instead, that decision opened the door to the greatest military disaster in German history. Germany did not lose in Russia because of a single battle, or a single winter, or even a single mistake. It lost because its entire war effort began to collapse under the weight of reality. And that collapse began long before Berlin fell. In the summer of 1941, Nazi Germany stood at the height of its power. France had fallen. Western Europe was silent under German boots. Britain stood alone, battered but alive. To Adolf Hitler, the war already felt won. So when German armies turned east toward the Soviet Union, this was not meant to be a gamble. It was supposed to be a final blow. One fast campaign, one crushing victory, a war finished before winter. Instead, that decision opened the door to the greatest military disaster in German history. Germany did not lose in Russia because of a single battle, or a single winter, or even a single mistake. It lost because its entire war effort began to collapse under the weight of reality. And that collapse began long before Berlin fell. Winter did not defeat Germany by itself. Unprepared winter did. Hitler had gambled everything on a rapid victory. He believed the Soviet Union would collapse before the first snowfall. Because of that belief, winter preparation was dismissed as unnecessary pessimism. German troops entered Russia without winter uniforms, no insulated boots, no proper coats, no gloves. Engines lacked antifreeze, lubricants froze solid, weapons jammed. When temperatures plunged below freezing, frostbite began to claim as many men as Soviet bullets. Soldiers lost fingers, toes, entire limbs. Tanks refused to start. Trucks became useless steel shells. The winter exposed what logistics had already broken. It wasn't the cold alone. It was hunger, exhaustion, and immobility combined with freezing temperatures. German soldiers were still fighting with summer assumptions in an Arctic reality. Winter punished arrogance, not strategy. From the very beginning, Germany misunderstood its enemy. Nazi intelligence believed the Red Army was crippled by Stalin's purges. Millions of Soviet soldiers had been captured or killed in the opening months, reinforcing the illusion that the USSR was on the brink of collapse. But Germany had misread the scale of Soviet power. The Soviet Union possessed manpower reserves unlike anything Germany had ever faced. Entire new armies appeared even after catastrophic defeats. Where Germany expected the enemy to break, the front simply reformed. Even more crucial was Soviet industry. As German forces advanced, factories were dismantled and transported east, beyond the reach of German bombers. Entire industrial cities were rebuilt behind the Urals. While Germany struggled to replace tanks and aircraft, the Soviet Union began producing them in staggering numbers. Germany won battles, but the enemy never stopped coming. In 1941, German forces entered regions where Soviet rule was deeply unpopular. Ukraine, the Baltics, and parts of Eastern Europe might have welcomed Germany as liberators. Instead, Germany chose terror. Mass executions, starvation policies, collective punishment, racial extermination. Rather than gaining allies, Germany created enemies. Entire populations turned against the occupiers. Partisan groups formed across forests, villages, and supply routes. These partisans didn't need tanks or aircraft. They destroyed rail lines, ambushed convoys, cut communication cables, burned fuel depots. German logistics, already fragile, were constantly under attack from behind. Germany was not only fighting the Red Army at the front, it was fighting an entire occupied continent. Germany created its own enemies. By late summer 1941, the road to Moscow lay open, but only briefly. German generals argued for a direct strike at the Soviet capital. Moscow was the political, logistical, and symbolic heart of the USSR. Its fall could have been decisive. Hitler disagreed. He diverted forces south toward Ukraine's resources and north toward Leningrad. These decisions fragmented German strength and delayed the central advance. While German armies chased multiple objectives, the Soviets bought time. Defenses around Moscow were reinforced. New divisions arrived from Siberia. The moment of opportunity closed. By the time German forces resumed the drive on Moscow, winter had arrived, and Soviet resistance had hardened. Time became Germany's deadliest enemy. Blitzkrieg failed. Once the war in the East became a prolonged struggle, Germany was already doomed. Germany's economy was not designed for a long war of attrition. Its manpower pool was limited, its industrial capacity could not match the combined output of the Soviet Union and later the Allies. The Soviet Union, by contrast, could trade space for time. It could lose millions and continue fighting. Entire cities could fall, and still the war would go on. Each year, German losses mounted faster than replacements. Each offensive cost more than it gained. Each retreat became harder to reverse. The Eastern Front consumed the German army piece by piece. Once it became a war of attrition, Germany was already lost. Germany's defeat in Russia was not sudden. It was structural. Broken logistics, strategic arrogance, brutal occupation, misjudged enemies, lost time, and a war Germany could never sustain. By the time Soviet forces crossed into Germany itself, the outcome was no longer in doubt. Russia didn't just defeat Germany, it destroyed the illusion of invincibility. And all of these failures, every road, every winter night, every missed decision, led to one final moment: the fall of Berlin. In the next chapter, we follow the Red Army into the ruins of Hitler's Reich and witness the final collapse of Nazi Germany.